Hello everyone. In this video I am going to show how to create an additional domain controller. Then basic idea why we need additional domain controller, that's for the redundancy, because think in your environment you have only one active directory, that's the primary domain. What happen if that fail, right? So in that case, if you are having the additional domain controller with the same database, then no need to worry about that type of failure. Then that domain controller, that additional domain controller, can handle all the authentication part, right? So in this video I am using two servers, right? Server 1, that is DC01. With DC01 I already installed and configured domain. That domain name is netlab.lk. Under that, if you go to the domain controller, currently I can see only this server name as the domain controller. So in here I have only the primary domain controller. So as the second server, actually I am using the server core machine, right? So in here I am going to configure this server core server as the additional domain controller, right? So first of all I need to do the basic post installation task. That means I need to configure the IP address and the name. So the first thing, I'm going to rename this server as the core, right? Then to apply that setting it will request the restart. Then next I need to assign the IP address within the same network. So first of all I need to verify what is the network card ID, right? Then you can find the network interface ID equal to 5 or name equal to Ethernet 0. So I need to assign IP for this interface. So I'm going to assign the IP 192.168.10.11 because my primary server IP is 10.10, right? So I'm going to configure Ethernet index number 5, that means for the Ethernet 0 interface with the 10.11 IP with the default subnet mask, right? Also now I need to configure the DNS, right? I need to configure DNS as the primary server, so I use the primary server IP as the DNS IP, that is 10.10, right? So now I can verify the configuration simply with the IP config/all command. That is pretty simple command, everyone know. So I can see my server IP 10.11, then this is my subnet mask gateway, this is my DNS server. So in here now, earlier I changed the server name, so I need to restart this server. So the command is restart computer. It will restart my server. We'll see. So this is my core server again. Core server password. Yes. Now I need to open the PowerShell. Right. So now what I need to do, I need to configure this server as the additional domain controller, right? So when we configure the domain controller, the first step we need to install the role called Active Directory Domain Service, right? For that again I use the command. This is the command. Right, install Windows feature. That feature name is AD domain services. including of the sub features and the management tool. It will take a few seconds again. So until it's complete, again I go back to my primary server. I need to show again something about my domain environment. My domain name is netlab.lk, right? That is very important. With the primary server, I have configured the domain. That domain name is netlab.lk. In here, I am going to configure this as the additional domain controller. So I use the install adds domain controller PowerShell command with my previous domain name netlab.lk. So in here you need to provide the safe mode password, that is that should be the same password with the first server, right? That should be same, that is essential. And I use the capital A letter to use the yes to all. Then we'll see the installation. This will take few minutes, right? After the successful installation, you can see, right, this server right now it will request the restart, right? Because now we need to log in with the domain administrator after the restart, right? Then after that you can see this core server become the again another domain controller, right? So now my core server act as the additional domain controller. If the primary one, that means if the DC one fail, no need to worry, this server can handle the same role, that mean Active Directory authentication part, right? Identity services we can run with this server. So that's the redundancy. Now you can see core server become the domain controller. Now in my environment I have two domain controller, that is my primary one, that is DC01, and the additional one, that is core server. So what is the advantage is if the primary one fail, no need to worry, client still can authenticate with the core server, right? Because in this environment I have two servers to provide the authentication service. That's a redundancy. So finally our client will receive the high availability. So thank you very much for watching this video.